So, back around the end of April, you discussed the idea of a V bottom occurring in the S&P 500. You gave an upper level price target, which believe was about 667.90, John. The index is basically right there. So, give us an update. How are you feeling about how things have unfolded, and where do you see things going next?
Yeah, we talked about V bottoms as from just a technical aspect is that when you get these V bottoms and when the market can recapture the origin of the sell off, then you can extrapolate the trough to a peak. And remember, we talked about the difference between bulls and bears, and that they have this slow, methodical rise. And you can see the market has done exactly that. And then my target price, like you said, for the S&P, the SPY, is right here around 668-ish. So we're within less than, I think, a half a percentage point reaching that target. Now it's kind of interesting that it's happening or getting very close on the triple witching days, because what I want to talk about next, Thomas, is that in my experience, and now this is just about this formation, is that when we reach one of these pinnacles or reach this objective target, that the market has a tendency to digest or go into maybe a bit of a consolidation, or even have a small drawback. So let's look at some evidence here. And so here's a MACD and RSI. Now we are getting back slightly into the overbought condition for the RSI. Nothing extraordinary, but here's what I see, Thomas, is that we're making a new higher high, but the RSI is making a lower high, and so that's negative divergence. We've talked about this in the past, and that a lot of times it takes a couple of negative diversions to actually kind of tell us that maybe the market is peaking. Now, if I go to a weekly chart, Thomas, then we're not there in the overbought condition for the RSI. But again, if I change my parameters and I go back to, let's say, something like Bollinger Bands, you know how I love Bollinger Bands, notice that our target is right on the upper band. Now, the market could carry along a band. It could go higher. But, classically, when you get to the upper band or you get outside the upper band, it's usually telling you that you're going to have some type of a mean reversion.